Today we're taking a look at Solana's Sol coin, performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see Sol go in the near future. Let's get into it. Welcome back into the Solana chart today, guys. If you'd like to buy Solana or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links down in the description of today's video. But from our last video, we recall that we were getting to the pointy end of things over here. Solana had unfortunately obviously dropped past that point of support, but it came back in, which was absolutely fantastic, and started moving back into that triangle formation that we saw there, and eventually it did also break out, as you can see right here. And on that breakout we got to a high of $204 per Solana, but unfortunately then it's taken a bit of a dip and it's gone down to now where it's sitting at a value of $171. What is interesting though is what we can see has occurred is 3 consecutive days now we have had a bounce off our horizontal point of support, and for me that is quite a bullish thing. If we consistently see that a coin or a stock or wherever it may be is bouncing off the support points, what that indicates to me is that it is holding up well, it is a strong point of support, and we have not lost our momentum just yet. Now obviously, to be seen what occurs today, we're only starting out on small volume. It is a red little doji, but I am expecting to see that we do bounce off this point and start moving in an upwards direction, hopefully back towards this 50-day moving average sitting at 196. Now the next thing I'm going to do is extend out our little line over here. Now this is one of our lines sitting at 219 roughly, 220. That for us is our ultimate target for the next few weeks. Ideally what we want to see is a bounce off our current point of support at 170 in this sort of a fashion, then go up, potentially test maybe this 50-day moving average, come down a bit, and then go and test this $219 mark. That will be the ultimate target moving forward. Now, what happens if we bring in a few more indicators? Well, let's have a look. MACD, this is a fantastic one. What you can see unfortunately at the moment though is potentially, or what has just occurred, a cross of the 12-day EMA below the 26-day EMA. Now that is quite a bearish sign, but one thing that's giving me confidence at the moment is, yes, we have seen a cross occur now, but there hasn't been a big dump. There's not been a big sell-off of the coin. It is staying relatively stable at this point in time. Typically when we see these crosses occur, it indicates a change in the trend, and we're going to start moving either, in this case, a downwards direction, or if it crosses in this sort of a manner, an upwards direction. But what we're seeing today is that potentially it is not a significant cross. It might be similar to this period here where we saw, 2 little candles before going back to the overall trend. I'm hoping we see something similar, 2 little red candles, 1, whatever it may be, before we start, pumping back upwards. And because we're sitting on that support point, I think potentially that is going to occur. But we need to see some buying momentum really coming in, and you can see that the volume has been declining for the past few weeks, obviously, as well. The overall crypto market at this point in time isn't too strong, so that would be also, I'd suggest, a potentially influencing factor. And we can probably also put in place a bit of a long-term trend over here as well. We're sitting almost at that point, but bringing that one in, we can see that overall we're still in a long-term uptrend, which is good news for us at the moment. And we've broken that downtrend that we had seen since our peak back in early November. Let's bring in another indicator now. RSI, fantastic one. What you can see here, RSI of 42, so there hasn't been large amounts of buying, there hasn't been large amounts of selling. It's relatively steady at this point in time, but that means there is room for us to move upwards and bounce off our support point. But of course there is always the potential for us to move down a bit more as well. Overall though, taking all things into consideration, I'd suggest worst case scenario, we're potentially going to hit this long-term uptrend, which at this point in time, if it hit it today, it would be sitting at 165. That would be below our current support point at 170, but I think we would bounce off that absolutely before moving in an upwards direction if that was to occur. Otherwise, I do think the target that we have set is going to be our ultimate goal, 219, 220. That is what I want to see within the next few weeks. That wraps up our Sol analysis for today, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts on Sol and Solana down in the comments section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit that subscribe button. With that, guys, I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.